So recently, France was added on red list. Red list. This is the thing that a lot of us fear the most. Kasi pag nasali, if our country is added on red list, then that's the end. That's the end of our plans. That's the start of hell, because once your country is added on red list, kahit Filipino, balikbayan and foreigners, whatever visa you have, unless you're a diplomat. If you're balikbayan, you're a 9A visa holder. Even if you're an SRRV, a 13A visa holder, if your country that you're coming from is under the red list, then you cannot enter the Philippines. So that's the harshest thing not to happen, is that your country becomes red list. And we've been hearing the news. Oh my goodness, UK, if I'm right, recorded more than 300 Omicron cases. US reported it in many states, more than 30 cases now. And one would wonder, are we gonna be included in red list, because we have quite a number of Omicron cases now. And other countries na nga detected Omicron, more and more countries detected. Would you be added to red list? Mapapasali ba sa red list? Well, there is positive news naman. Let's hear it from the Iatf spokesperson, acting Carlo Nograles.
We already have existing parameters to red list a country, and those parameters were approved by the IAF even before Omicron came. So what happened was, when Omicron became a variant of concern, we had to red list some countries where Omicron came from, no? Where Omicron was first reported, and that was South Africa. Then the neighboring countries surrounding South Africa. That was our initial reaction, which was the initial reaction of many countries as well. Then after that, nagbigin rin tayo mag-red list doon sa mga sa mga countries na the Omicron variant was detected. Then after several meetings, we decided, okay, let's hold off first in red listing countries unless they hit our present parameters for red listing. We won't red list until they hit the parameters. So tama ka, not necessarily dahil may Omicron. Although, if may Omicron, we take a closer look at that also. Kasi binabantayan rin namin yung capability also of the country to do biosurveillance, genomic sequencing. Kasi baka maaring tumataas ang bilang ng isang country in terms of the COVID cases, but even if they don't report Omicron, it may just be the delay in the biosurveillance being done in that country na hindi naman nila agad-agad na detect yung Omicron. Because different countries, iba-iba yung konteksto, iba-ibang mga capabilities na mga iyan. So it was safer for us, we believe, at na mga experts, na let's all just follow a stricter yellow list protocol para makover na lahat ng countries, and in case may lulusot dyan na may dalang Omicron, madedetect agad natin, not necessarily coming from a red list, no? Because the Omicron variant might be already spreading as we speak. The biosurveillance or genomic sequencing capabilities of several countries might not be as swift as we want. So by putting everyone on a strict yellow list protocol, not necessarily red list, then obviously if we see surges in several countries, we won't hesitate to red list. Not necessarily because we see the Omicron variant or na-detect ba yung Omicron variant locally.
They have adjusted the parameters. So instead of like what they did last year with the Alpha variant, or whenever a country reports, we have found an Alpha variant, bam, red list. Right now, they have adjusted and they're holding off. Yan. Stop muna, wag muna. Na instead of putting countries on red list because they have a local case or they have reported Omicron, wag na lang muna, because the preliminary data on Omicron shows na it may be more transmissible but it may be less severe. So hindi siya masyadong malala, which is really important to know. As of now, the preliminary data sounds promising, sounds optimistic, diba? So for now po, don't worry so much as long as your country is not experiencing an exponential surge like in Europe?
Countries that we are monitoring include those now we're seeing some spikes, no, and Europe, European countries, for instance, are the countries that we are really taking a closer look at. And if we need to, let's say, red list a country or several countries, once we see that the indicators for red listing of a country are met, then we in the IATF will not hesitate to red list more countries. Because as WHO officials saying, the new epicenter now of COVID is in Europe. No? So we're taking a very, very close look at all the indicators per country in Europe. If we see that even in that country itself, no, there's a cause for concern, we have parameters set for red listing. So pag nakakaroon ng surge ang isang country and then it meets the parameters for red listing, we'll put it on the red list. Otherwise, we have parameters also for green listing and yellow listing.
So incidence rate is always the basis, no, for red list. So I would suggest po for countries from especially Europe to watch out for any changes on red list, because there are chances na mapapasali kayo that more European countries will be added. So just watch out po, especially if you're traveling soon. For now, hindi pa naman sali. Ito pa naman 15 countries as of today, December 9. And about One Health Pass, could you really go to jail? Well, you could. There are laws in the Philippines imposed for those who will lie in the middle of the pandemic. Well, I know of a senator, he did not go to jail. If you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, what is this One Health Pass hush?
Yes, Notifiable Diseases Act, which is actually itong yung umiiral na batas right now in light of this COVID pandemic. No, it's a Notifiable Diseases Act, and nakalagay po dyan yung penalties for anyone who give false information, especially during a public health emergency like this ongoing pandemic ng COVID-19.
Are you really going to jail for just lying? You could, guys. So I'm just encouraging you, please, let's be honest. You know, if you have nothing to hide, and this is really not something that you should be concerned of or should worry about. No, just be honest with your travel history, with your contact details. Now, this one can be tricky though, kasi they ask for Philippine number, and maybe some people, look, it's realistic that there may be people who do not have contact in the Philippines, but you really have to put an active contact. At least yung email, diba? Yung email na active, yung ma-open mo talaga. But this is all for today po. I'll see you in another travel update. Stay safe and God bless. Bye.